Morning, you awesome movie nerds. So, I've got a meeting early this morning. It's probably really windy out here. I'm going to meet up with a creative team to talk because I am writing and directing an Easter play this year for my church, and I never done nothing like this before, and we're gonna throw it together and see what happens. Alright, so that was a very good, productive meeting. I've got a script to write, so yeah, woo. Recently, I bought this triple movie pack, A Star Is Born. It's got three different versions. The one made in the 50s, one made in the 70s, and then the most recent one in 2010s with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Anyway, so I started watching them, and I started with the most recent one. It's one of the most brilliantly beautiful tragedies that I've ever seen. It's this just real story of this man struggling with addiction. There's just this tinge of hopelessness throughout the whole thing, which I find unfortunate. Like, I want to give him hope, but it was really interesting, so I was curious to watch the other films to see, like, in different times, 40 years ago, were we still at this most hopeless level? So I watched the film from the 70s. This has Kris Kristofferson, Barbara Streisand. I watched it, and it is the exact same story. It looks the exact same, but told completely differently. And so, really, I think the differences between these two films can be summed up with The Ranch. And the more recent one with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, The Ranch is the past that he can't let go of. This is where he grew up, where he had this terrible past, and he doesn't want any part of it, and yet he can't seem to let it go, so he buys the ranch, but he gives it to his brother to take care of. His brother doesn't want it, and once he finds this out, he's angry that his brother doesn't want it, but yet he doesn't want it either because of the past it reminds him of. It's this past that he can't seem to shake. In the 70s version with Barbara Streisand and Kris Kristofferson, The Ranch is this idea of unrealized dreams. It's this plot of land that he bought that he was wanting to build this ranch on, that he was wanting to start a family on, and there was so much stuff he wanted to do with this land, but he never did anything with it. And I think that's the real major difference between these films here. One, it's this inability to shake the past, whereas the other is this inability to reach your dreams and reach your goals. And so even the title means different things for each of them, because with Lady Gaga, when A Star Is Born appears, it's out of this tragic past comes a new star, comes a new beautiful thing. Even out of tragedy, a star can be born. And you get the metaphor, this star blowing up and living out its life, and ends with this grand explosion, and a new star is then formed in the wake of that. But in the 70s version, A Star Is Born is more of this idea that a new star is on the rise who can reach her dreams and who can reach her potential. I mean, it has a similar feel and tone to it, but it's almost the more idea of a hopeful future versus this harsh past. And yeah, it's when she comes into his life, in the 70s version, is once she comes into his life does he actually start being able to reach some of his dreams. It's just this interesting difference. I am going to say, however, the more recent one is far superior. It deals with far more nuanced themes, whereas the 70s, to me, is just kind of a musical romance, and the music is done very poorly. It's mixed poorly. They have way too much. They don't understand how to use music for for the 70s one, whereas I thought music was used so brilliantly in the more recent one. But yeah, this has been Old versus New, A Star Is Born, and there are 2 more Star Is Born films that were made. So I'm just gonna keep going, digging into the past, and seeing how we at different times saw this story. It's really interesting. Alright guys, I've got a script to write for this Easter play now. It's going to be like a comedy tour guide through the life of Christ, and it's going to be real fun, so I'm excited about getting into this. So that's all for today's video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. I'm going to be back with a whole new video on Monday. Stay tuned for that. And remember, I love you awesome nerds. We're out.